Abasiza bannange tusanzeewo amanya bampita Simakula Eric Nyovudde Kigungu. Nina essanyu okuba nga wenzize mbadde sirinnyangawo. Naye nsanzeewo abantu ab'enjawulo ate nga balina eddembe n'ennyumirwa. Ebyo tusabyeko by'osomesezzaako ne byenkolera. Nsiimye nnyo Mukama wange.
Abasiza abaami n'abakyala, mannya gange bampita Zaawedde Hajara, nga nvudde Kigungu. Ndi musanyufu olw'olunaku lw'olwo okujjako mu kitundu kino. Bulijjo neegomba okujjayo naye nga sisobola.
Abasiza bannyabo ne bassebo, amannya Naggayi Shakira, nga nvudde Kigungu. Ekisinza okunsanyusa ekifo kuba kiyonjo, n'empewo yaawe yonna owulira nga nnyonjo.
Abasiza bannyabo ne bassebo, amannya gange tibwa Kamugawinyo. Nsanyusa okubasinkana mwenna ensanze wano n'ekifo kya kitiibwa era kiwaana eddembe.
Lamusizza bannyabo ne bassebo, amannya agange Zeena Juma Allen, nvudde Kigungu Ndese. Nsanyuse nnyo okutuuka mu kifo kino, kadde sikituukangako omulundi gwange ogusoose okutuukawo, naye byensanzeewo byesanyusizza.
Balamusizza bassebo ne bannyabo, amannya gange nze Nababiri Daala, nvudde Kigungu. Nsanyuse nnyo okutuuka mu kifo kino. Bulijjo mpulirawo obuwulizi, naye leero ntuuseewo era ekifo kinsanyusizza nnyo.
Balamusizza bassebo ne bannyabo, Mukama yabasuzizza bulungi. Nange neebaza Katonda atulese wano, kubanga wadde sisuubira nti ndituukako wano. Amannya agange Senna Kimbugwe Betty.
Balamusizza nnyo bassebo ne bannyabo, amannya gange nze Nasuna Rose Nalongo. No gwe mulundi gwange okusoose okutuukako wano era bulijjo mpulirayo obuwulizi, naye mpulira nsoose ne ngamba bannange nti mutuufu nze nsoose okulambulako mmaze era ne ngamba ndabika ndi mu kifo kituufu. Nenyumirwa ne batubuulidde nti sokolera kusinga ebyawaka byonna byerabire obeere mutuufu ng'oli mu kifo kino essaawa eno, era kati ndaba obwongo bwange buli wano wennyini.
Balamusizza bannyabo ne bassebo, amannya agange yenze Kafukodina, nviiridde Kigungu. Ndi musanyufu nnyo okubasanga mu kifo kino, nenyimirirako wano ne mu kyaki. Mbadde simanyi ng'eno eriyo kyaki bweti ng'efaanana bweti. Mukama ababeere.
Abapya baweddeyo, tunaye abapya bayingira tubasanyukidde. Wadde ono si mupya naye atubuulidde.
Bannange nsanyuse nnyo nnyo okubalaba n'obbasangawo bannyabo ne bassebo. Kaakati ennaku zino naye nabulaabulamuuko engeri y'entambula, era najjako wano omulundi ogwasooka najja wano nali omu. Nenjogerako ne mukulu twalibera nga twogera nga ngamba ye mabega ye Kigungu tuliwo bangi, tuliwo ne bannaffe bonna bangi.
naye nga ekisinga okukaluubiriza ntambula. Era ensonga esookera ddala mukulu kanfukamire nkwebaze tiweebale nnyo weebalire ddala otufunira ku ntambula. Entambula yebadde ekizibu. Entambula kubanga okuva ekigungu ogenda otuuka wano olina oteeka emitwalo 2 ku bbali. Naye nga ebisobozi nga tetubuyina okusobola okufuna ssente ezo. Naye nga mbeera mbakubirizanga bannange tugendeyooko eyo tetuyita tutugamba tugende ku kyaki nedda tugendeyo ew'omumonko. Tugendeyooko bannange naye nga baŋŋamba entambula tewali. Era nkwebaza nnyo omukulu otufunira entambula. Naye ensonga ereese obuzibu era bannaffe abalala baba bakatuuka beepakidde. Abantu babadde bangi era abalala basigaddeyo nga bagamba entambula kubanga mwasabye abantu 14 ate mu 14 abadde basukkamu. Kati ne bagamba nedda katugende abatagenze leero ku wiiki ejja Sande bajja kuba bakola ki nga bajja. Taata munnange tweyanziza nnyo ssebo mukulu byonna byebatukolera tetusobola kwerabira wadde watukolera kiwatukolera kyali kirungi nnyo nekisinga ne gavumenti namba etufuga naye gwe n'otukolera tetusobola kwerabira paka n'ekyo kakwebaze tweyanziza nnyo tweyanze nnyo taata. Era n'abakyala abazze wano bonna kye babakolera we bazuulidde entambula gyeri ti bannange nange nina ogende w'omumonko ssebo ffenna tuzze ate nga tukyajja webale tufunira entambula webale nnyo webalire ddala byebyo ebyange.
Basebo ne bane omuje baliko mwasuze mutya banyabo ne basebo nange era ndi mupya nakajja wano era mbadde mpulirayo ennumbu bayitayo buda nange kwe kujja nsabireko wano eno ebyo ebyange. Amanya agange ze namenga Agnes.
Masuze mutya basebo ne bannyabo. Amanya agange kibamba bazihalieti. Sebo tutuusa okusiima kwaffe n'eri bannaffe abatasobodde kujja wano. Abantu gye balireyo bakulowooza bagamba obwavu tebukumanyisa akwagala. Bambi entambula etutuusa wano kyekizibu kyokka tetuyina. Nga omanyi enfuna y'ennaku zino eyaleero tetulimu. Gy'okolawo gy'olya kakati okunoonya emitwalo 2 kutuufu gikaluba. Naye taata by'okola byonna abantu bonna basiima. Kyewakola kubanga mutuwayo oyo kyeyakola era nza kukyerabira yatuwa obuyambi n'asinga ne gavumenti eno eyaleero etulimu gavumenti yaffe ya pulezidenti Museveni kubanga abantu abasinga bajjanga ne batulinda ebintu ne bakuba ebifaananyi naffe ne batusuubiza obuyambi ne batakutuwa naye omwami oyo ebintu byatuwa mu butuufu buli omu akyabitendereza. Taata Mukama yebale kuba mutima mugabi era tojjanga okwo genda mu maaso n'okuyamba abantu bange mu gavumenti gye tulima basinga tetweyamba tulina busobozi goge mazima baami ye Mukama akwera osinga okwagala ge mazima kubaffe ebina tetuyinza kukuwa naawe banno bonna b'otambula nabo mu kintu kino Mukama abawo kimusinga okwagala era ng'abantu bonna eyo gye bali basinga kuba wasaala kubanga bambi tebanetera tebasobola kubawa. Tweyanza nnyo taata tweyanzenge tweyanza nnyo n'entambula yaffe gy'otuwadde Bantu lunaku mubutuufu twetaaga okujja naye nga tetulina busobozi bwa transport. Byebyo ebyange.
Abafite ekyobumwenda tubanjiriza wano. I'm just going to translate for our local visitors. So that group that you're seeing there is coming from a place called Chigungu. It's behind the airport. So in 2022, there's a fire disaster that gutted a landing site. It's a fishing village. So the temple, Bante, together with our partners from Taiwan, we provided 12 tons of food relief to them. And that gesture of compassion brought them to the temple. And they would love to come every time to the temple. But one challenge that each of them has been saying is transportation, because they cannot afford transport costs. They say they spend almost 20,000 to get here and back. So these are all praises as you see them kneeling down to thank the temple and Bante for his compassion and kindness towards them. So in brief, that's what's been happening, and we hope more and more will join us. As they said, they want to come more, but because of the transport. So the temple bought a van which has brought them from Japan. So this is why this is happening. Yes, I think we're over the hour. I would like once again to thank God for this wonderful opportunity and for leading us into the mindfulness program or session. For those of us, as I said earlier, there's a very beautiful quotation I actually like so much. It's by William Wordsworth. He says, "With an eye made quiet by the power of harmony and the power of joy, we see into the life of things." And for me, this expresses very well the power of presence, the power of mindfulness that we ought to cultivate. And when we cultivate a sense of inner joy and harmony, we can actually see things more clearly and deeply. And this practice that Bante has been leading us, it takes us to that level of seeing things more naturally, more deeply. At this hour, as for me, I decided to live in the moment all the time. And if the moment is unpleasant, in that case, I remember when I was a kid, when I'm crying, then mom gives you a cookie, you keep quiet. It sorted the whole story. So in that case, I eat a cookie if the moment is very unpleasant. So this, I would like to invite those with questions or discussions. And for those of us who are first-time meditators, you might be having questions. Please, you can direct them to Bante, and we'll happily answer them regarding meditation, mindfulness, or any question that you've always had to ask about Buddhism, the Buddha, why all this suffering, any question, you're welcome. Bannange kanakadde ka bibuuzo bw'oba olinayo ekibuuzo kyonna oli wa ddembe era oyanyirizibwa okubuuza, just owanika omukono then netukulaba neyazanya. Yes, honorable. Abapya ono Honorable Rachel Magola gwe mumanyi nga Obangaina, ye member of parliament omukyala Ebugweri.
Thank you. Mwasuze mutya banyabo ne basebo. Good morning, everyone. I'm a first-time meditator. I've never ever meditated. So for me, this opportunity today gives me a lot of the will to come back and do it again. At the moment, being in politics, I'm sure you see the media, you see the way the whole country is. And I was sitting here thinking, wow, Uganda, the whole Uganda needs to meditate. Especially for people who are in offices like mine right now. I joined politics only recently, but I have grown up in a political family. My mother was a member of parliament, my grandfather was a member of parliament, who was one of the first 3 Africans in 1945 to join parliament. So I've been around politicians for a long time, but the one thing I've seen recently which has changed, major shift, is the anxiety in the country over practically everything. And I was sitting here and you said, stay in the moment. I tried, but I couldn't, because your mind keeps running to all these responsibilities and, that the office requires. The first thing I thought about, Bante, we need you in parliament. Because a lot of politicians, though a lot of people will not believe it, are under a lot of stress. Just trying to make things work. So I believe if we get a team of meditators, we shall have better legislators. Because everybody will come back in the moment, think about the moment, try to make the world a happier place by just being back to the basics. Because I think we've all forgotten how to just relax, think, and want to do the right thing for the people. And also, like I said, I've been in generations of politicians. At the moment, there is a sense of, I've called it anxiety. Everybody is worried about everything. When it rains, we are worried about the rain. When it shines, we are worried about the sun. There's that constant, and I know I grew up in not a rich family, and my grandmother never went to school, but that community then had a sense of appreciation of what they had, however little it was. But today, even one who has is complaining because he wants more. One who doesn't have is complaining because he's seeing that one has. There's that whole level. That's where we live right now. So I just want to let you know that we need you to get the politicians to meditate, to think in a different way on how you deal with the day-to-day needs of the community. Because we make the decisions, and when we make decisions, when we are tense, we are likely to make the wrong ones. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. I can assure you that the UK members of Parliament, they are practicing mindfulness meditation, and they've been able to embed mindfulness in public policy making. And the group is called the All Inter-Party Parliamentary Mindfulness Group in the UK. So these are members of Parliament in the UK. So we can benchmark and bring it into the Parliament of Uganda. Thank you so much. Maybe Bante has a comment.
Can I use this one? Honorable Rachel Magola, thank you very much for your touching speech. Actually, though you solicited for questions, but your comments made the talk of the day. I'm very grateful. I first met you, I think, a couple of years ago, and we needed to work together to go to your place, your area. Nyabo, yes? You are supposed to translate. Not translating is a color, so can't translate.
So, Honorable Nsongaye, agambye nti guno gwe mulundi gwe okusoose okukola kye bayita meditation waba mu kye bayita olusirika, era n'agamba nti okusinziira embeera gye tulimu ennaku zino e Uganda, buli omu yeetaaga meditation era buli omu yeetaaga omukulu ono okuba nti atusomesa okulaba nti tukakkanya ebirowoozo byaffe, kubanga agambyeko nti tuli mu mbeera ey'okweraliikirira buli kadde. Omusana bwe gwaka tweraliikirira, enkuba bw'etonnya tweraliikirira, so ne tubeera nti tuli mu cycle bwetu y'okweraliikirira. So n'agamba nti nga mu parliament, bamemba ba parliament beetaaga okuba nti bameditatinga okulaba nti ebiteeso byabwe n'amateeka ge bayisa g'abantu ate gaba ne base ey'obuntu bulamu. Mu bumpimpi ekyo abadde agezaako okwogera, neyanziza nnyo.
Nze mbadde ngamba nti no Honorable Rachel Magola twasinkanako myaka ng'ebiri ne tuteesa engeri gye Uganda Book Center gyeneeyambamu ekitundu kye, ate naye twegatta wamu tukolere wamu tuyambe gavumenti. Leero lwe tusoose okujja, bulijjo mbadde nsaba gye wano naye oba bize naye leero lwatusoose okujja wano kutembera nga mwaniriza kubanga tukolagana nnyo nekyabazinga ow'ebusoga, era ekitundu ekyo twakiyamba nnyo okubitabo n'essomero okukiwa emmere biki. Kati leero badde nga nsanyukidde nnyo okujja wano, naye ngamba ntono wadde abadde abuuza bibuuzo baki abalina ebibuuzo, naye ye engeri gyayogeddemu speech ye njagadde nnyo, byayogedde mbyagadde nnyo, kubanga mu America mu Pentagon government bayiga mindfulness, era waliwo politician member of Congress alina ekitabo kye bayita mindfulness politics, ndowooza era badde ninawo kimu kankikuwe, ninaddayo mu America nakikuddiza engeri gy'oŋŋambye. You want to invite me to the parliament, I would like to give you a book written by a congressman from America. It's called Mindfulness Politics. Kikuwe otandikira ngaera ne woni leader waliwo ne kibayita mindfulness leadership, new leader akatabaka kuyamba okubeera mindfulness kuteekanki mu bantu b'okulembera. Naye ekinyambyeko oli engeri gy'agambye nti no bannange ffenna tetutasoma tetutegeera ki luzungu, ekibadde kingenda okwogera nti bampitako wano lumu ba myaka ebiri okugenda e Ghana, naye ayampita naye watukidde, ayampita kugenda okukola ki okuwa keynote speech to the parliamentarians. Nagenda ne neebuuzaamu nga parliament ya Uganda tenampita, naye lwaki omukyala abeere UK ampise ngende e Ghana nsomese mindfulness kye bayita keynote speech. Nalinda neninda pulani zange zonna ze nalina nezisazamu neŋŋamba nze ŋŋenda Ghana okuwa mindfulness keynote speech to the parliamentarian. Kakati obadde oyogera nga mulabajja kyebanegenda okugamba nti olwedde ebintu bino gyebiri era waliwo n'enteekateeka is called African parliamentarians. In fact, most of the whenever we had a meeting here in Uganda, different parliamentarians came. What did you bajja okuva esaala n'ekibuga abasinga batuukira abaana omuseero kye bayita mindfulness katubbi omu ekiri olusirika mu ddiini gye kyasookera ndowooza naye kirimu ba doctors in America. Mindfulness mu hospitals before surgery nga tebannabaaga bantu abasomesa mindfulness okwekenneenya ate nga bamaze era basomesa mindfulness bawone mangu. So now I have to translate to the people who doesn't understand. So we have our friend here, Dr. Kaiso, with the family. We have our Chinese friend from Beijing. We have Momo. Momo, you've been here for 20 years. I think you can speak Luganda. Now we have people here. So now, before I translate it to English, I would like to ask somebody to stand up who invited me to teach mindfulness to the parliamentarians in Ghana and what happened. Then after that, I'm going to translate. Yes. Yesoboleyo already yakimanyiko. Kakati nzo kumpita ku parliament y'abantu. Okoze ki osidisa stamien. Because I have the books. That's the lady. He's our member here, support group. It's called Elizabeth PC. And she's the one who invited me to go to Ghana to give a keynote speech to all African parliamentarians. So now, since you're a member of parliament, today it's going to have a different course. Please. That's the person who invited me. He's not a member of parliament. But you please tell us, why did you invite me from Africa going to Ghana? And what motivated you? Because for me, I never saw you. And you just say, come to Ghana. And they have to give a talk of mindfulness to the parliamentarians. Please, tell her because she's a member of parliament and is a celebrity, actually. She's a celebrity of Uganda. We are amid stars, we have a celebrity in Uganda. She's called Honorable Rachel Mangora. Now tell us the history. We have enough time. After that, I'll translate all together in English.
Happy Vesak Day to everybody here, Honorable Minister, and all distinguished guests, and novices, and everybody who is here from the community. Thank you for coming to celebrate with us. A very special day in the Buddhist calendar. My association with Bante, Venerable Bante, actually goes back many years before that invitation to Ghana. As a black woman living in the UK, as a mitra at the London Buddhist Center, I was so proud to hear about this black African monk in Africa. So I used to follow you, try to listen as much as I could, if I could find your inspired and I set my intention to bring African parliamentarians together. It was a lot of hard work, and your immediate response was so heartening. Ghana is also a very important country. It is the birthplace of Pan-Africanism, the first African country to achieve independence, and Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, used to dress somewhat like Venerable Bante does today. Even though he was not a monk, he was somebody who had a great belief in Africa and wanted to bring us all together as Africans under the continent. I don't want to go further into politics, but let's say that the combination of Kwame Nkrumah and Venerable Bante gave birth to that idea of Pan-Africanism. And how do we bring Ubuntu to our leaders? The compassion and the wisdom that is the forerunner of any decision-making process. Or we are all leaders in one way or another at the level of schools, hospitals, communities, in our cultural settings. You don't have to be a big chief to be a leader. You don't have to be somebody so high up on a pedestal to lead others in wisdom, compassion, and caring for each other. And I believe we have a message that will resonate in Africa. We may have to start small. Perhaps the idea of all parliamentarians meeting in Ghana was a little bit grandiose. But I do believe we can start, and Bante has already put us on that path. I thank him for it, and I do believe his message is going out to all parliamentarians, the leaders of strategic development, sustainable development in our land. How can we be together and share the resources of this land equally, without fear or favor? And for this, I thank you, Madame, for being here with us. And I look forward to celebrating Vesak Day. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So thank you very much for your wonderful speech about how you came to know me and how you plant the seeds to teach mindfulness to parliamentarians in Africa. There is a saying that think globally and act locally. Think globally and act locally. So maybe Elizabeth, you thought globally, but it's now time to act locally. To start with the Parliament of Uganda, right? Actually, as we are talking now, there is what a program called SOTA Foundation, Wellness, and there's physical wellness actually being taught now. I've got some videos whereby there is a lot of promotion of physical wellness. So I told the founder that for me, if you want to help those people, and most of them are parliamentarians, and they are doing it in front of the parliament. So I said, for me, I can bring in what we call mental and psychological wellness. and that will involve teaching mindfulness and meditation. I think the seed is planted, and we're in partnership with them to see if I can help from that side. Then I told them about old people who cannot come to ride those cycles. They're not going to come to Parliament to start riding that cycle for physical wellness. I told them about community wellness, social wellness, and which I did already here. We went to Katabi, and there were old people, we gave them food, but also we started to teach them how they can be together to promote social, to have a sense of community, not to be like the way how it is in the West now. People have lost a lot of sense of community. Those people actually, all what they needed is really to talk to each other and discuss to each other. So there's a lot to be done. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to translate what I talked in Uganda to the people who speak in English. So if I leave out something, you can always remind me. Now, here, after Honorable Rachel Mangola gave the comment, and now it was being spoken, translated in Uganda, and a lot went on in Uganda, but actually missed out in English. So let me pick up from there. So she is saying that it's the first time to meditate, and I feel honored that this Uganda Center is the first place you learn meditation. And even recently, someone who said that this is the first meditation, Stevie, Stevie Yat, and the wife. Yeah, this is the first time to meditate. Even there's a recently somebody said so, that this is the first time to meditate. Okay, now she said that in Uganda, everybody's really have anxiety. I would still call it restlessness and worry. For us in this tradition, worry is about omission. You omitted to do something good. That brings worry. But also commission. You do something wrong. That brings us to worry. So you can see worry coming on the other side. One is what you do wrong. Knowingly, you can do something wrong. But also, when actually you omit to do good things that you ought to do. Like I know, many of us, whatever area we're working, we want to do something, but we are unable to do it because of circumstances. And that's also, that brings worry. So the whole world is restless actually, not only Uganda. The rest of the world want to stop wars, but we cannot stop it. in Ukraine, this and that, conflicts and all, insurgencies. So anyway, what she spoke, it was right that the country is restless because of their demands at work. And she said that mindfulness, the way she tried it, by coming back to the present moment, though the mind was going in the past and the future, but it was able to listen to the instructions on how to bring it in the present moment. And really that mindfulness is, as I was giving my talk, is reclaiming our birthright. We are called human beings. We need to be in the present moment. Being human and human being. So now, most of the time what we do is human doing. And that's also another dimension of a person. We need to have, we need to do, we need to be. So what we do most of the time when we don't have peace is actually we spend a lot of time of doing. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. Which is okay, but we never get time to really rest in that place. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's a rest in that place because they don't have responsibility. So now she says she really would like to have this mindfulness go into the parliament of Uganda. And I really praised her for that because already it was a seed planted by Elizabeth many years ago. A few years ago, she contacted me. I have never met her. She told me she has been listening to my talks and she would like to invite me as a keynote speaker in Ghana. And she was putting together or African parliamentarians. I think they're the center there, do they? Yes. In Ghana, they have a center of African parliamentarians. And she worked with a brother to really take me from Uganda and give a keynote speech. So I said, oh wow, as I was commenting on what he said, I saw her coming, Elizabeth coming, but I wasn't sure because it was far. I said, is that Elizabeth? We are talking about parliamentarians and she's coming. So then I said, the good thing that we are interjected to translate. I said, okay, it will be very, very good to hear it from the parliamentarian. I said, wanting to do it in Uganda. So now, long story short, we said we are going to do it because you are like pushing somebody who is already sporting. Because if somebody is already sporting, it's easy to do. Yeah. So I say I'm going to give her a book called Mindfulness Politics. And there's a book which is called Mindfulness Leadership. Because this book, like Mindfulness in Politics, it was written by a congressman who is in politics in America. And I say that in America, at Pentagon, they meditate. In Pentagon, they do mindfulness. So it's already in the government of the United States. Yeah, and in many governments, and she really alluded to that in the UK, they also do this program. So in Uganda, it's not too late. I'm here for you. I've done it not so much in politics, but in different countries, like Australia, I taught mindfulness in called ANZ Bank twice. ANZ Bank. It's called Australia New Zealand Bank. So I went to the boardroom and I taught them mindfulness in a bank. Second time I did it in Australia. In Brazil, it's called Petro Brazil. It's a big company for petroleum. So I went there in Brazil and then I taught mindfulness in that company. All of them, they're business people. When I just came to Uganda many years ago, in Kenya, there's a very big Indian company, Mabati, the one we manufacture corrugated iron sheets. They asked me to give a talk on mindfulness communication. So I taught in Kenya here. In Uganda, I've not spent much talk. I haven't taught to government, any government or what, but overseas that teaching hospitals, like in Sri Lanka, I conducted a program in a very big hospital, the biggest hospital for rehabilitation, mindfulness hospital. Most of them, they are paying how to deal with pain, mindfulness of pain. So, most of my work has been in universities, teaching universities on every continent. I teach mindfulness in Australia, university, in USA, in South America, even in Uganda. I teach at the university, in the University of Kisumu. I teach 5 times. I teach brothers and fathers. So mostly it has been an academic setting. A few in business, but I haven't gone to the parliament law. But I have all my support. Even if you want to next week, you will see me there teaching them and become mindful. And you see, people need mindfulness because they are decision makers. And for us through mindfulness, we learn how to make a decision with the community. So that we don't make a decision out of fear, we don't make a decision out of ignorance, we don't make a decision out of anger, we don't make a decision out of judgment. We make a decision based on courage, decision based on wisdom and understanding. The decision based on loving kindness and compassion. So there's a lot we can offer, I think. Yes. So please, you really made my day. You officially made my day because these are people who are making decisions. They don't make us. Yeah, in the United States we have mindfulness for lawyers. People who make decisions, they will find this practice very, very meaningful. Though when I teach judges, people who are like lawyers, I've taught lawyers, and then they really want mindfulness. I remember when I was teaching in Mississippi, she was a judge. It was not a Buddhist. It was called a Southern Baptist. She was a Southern Baptist. She said, it was just a discussion, and I was teaching them how to bring peace in a chaotic environment. And you know what happened in the courtroom. Everybody is always very confused and disturbed and all that. So I gave them a technique. I said we have a technique called M and N. Those who live in America, they know what M and N. These are sweets. They are sweet, small but sweet. Small but sweet. They are called M and M. Now I say that, okay, when you are in a courtroom and as a judge and everybody is angry, you can just keep quiet like this and relax and spend only 1 minute or mindfulness, only 1 minute, and come back to the body. As I gave the instruction, come back to breathing, use the breath, and then just settle back and dress in the moment and be in the body. Because everybody is not in the body. It's just here, there, it's in their head, you know. You come in the body. And she said that she tried it. She said, where can I go to the Buddha statue? This is a person who is a Southern Baptist, and which is a very staunch one. This is a very staunch religious sect. Say, I would like to go to the Buddha statue. It looks very peaceful. I want to be like peaceful like this. And she, I'm going to start practicing mindfulness when I'm in a court. You know? So this is really very interesting. But anyway, unfortunately, sorry?
May I ask a few words?
Yes. Please.
I would like to add that bringing African parliamentarians together, that concept was somehow disrupted by COVID. But I do want to assure you, Madam, that when I contacted the UK Parliament, they were very supportive of that initiative. And furthermore, I also contacted the EU Parliament in Brussels. And again, they were extremely supportive. The only difficulty we had in terms of funding, funding this initiative was because their concept was based on technology. They wanted African parliamentarians to use laptops and using an app to learn mindfulness. And I was trying to explain, perhaps somewhat unsuccessfully at the time, that as Africans we cherish being together, that part of our understanding is based on presence together. We need to be meeting each other, we need to be smiling together, we need to be holding each other, as opposed to using an electronic app and everybody sitting in their own corner, one in South Africa, one in Mozambique, the other one in Cameroon, using an app. And I was trying to explain to them, perhaps you would have better luck and more influence to say that as Africans, Abantu, we are communal, we are physical, we sing together, we cry together, we have to be physically together. I just wanted to add that you have the support of the European Parliament and the European Commission. You have the support of Oxford University, whom I also contacted, and I'm a part of their global outreach, and also the UK Parliament itself. So thank you very much for your continued support.
So I think I've already translated what went on in Luganda. Basically, that's it. That the parliament in Uganda, they will learn mindfulness meditation, and we will support them so that we can develop our country, because those are the people who make decisions for us. For us, we just follow. Yes, so thank you very much for your presence here. I think we move on now to banaye mwebale mwena abavudde ekigungu mbasanyukidde nnyo nakuba emmotoka nfunda. She was actually thanking me about providing him transportation. They used to have border. They come border. I say one time I'll get a van and really reduce your cost of coming here. Then what happened, I had to go there myself on the road, look at the potholes on that road. I found out there are so many potholes on the road, and I will not take the bus there, but I assured them, you can come from the potholes, which is like, if it's okay, I'll pick you from where the pothole ends. They say, okay, no problem. We are going to pay only 3,000. No, we are going to come. So we say, okay, when you're 14, we'll pick you up. But I didn't know there were more than that. So I think Mr. Cheng is there. We are going to work closely. If we have a school bus, it will bring all the people here, because those people want to know, actually. Yeah, they want to learn these qualities of compassion, loving kindness, and they are talking for themselves like this. So we can work on how to solve their transport problems. Now that's what we had. They have given a testimony. These are people that we offered food, working with Suchi Foundation, and they asked me, how can we help them so that food is not only enough. They need also intervention, the mind, to be peaceful, to be calm. And when they come here, they can talk about for themselves. Nyabo, ono yetuma no nerinya. Mpoze rinya wewangulira rinya chi? Tubulire when ojano okola meditation chichi ofunamu. Excuse me, leader Colina, because you come here, you don't have money. Let me nkubuze chibuzo. Wangama ntino ochikutwala wiki nabo kusonda kasenda kajja wange. Niye kulabye omulusi gumuse ebiri biki wewangulira n'erinnya simanyi yakutuma n'abamonko
era nekyo waliwo abangambye ne bangamba n'abamonko totuleka ng'ogenda wa mumonko naaluli owajja omwami ono yajja n'ampita n'angamba owaayo akantu kabeera
really get that they are no longer worrying. Since you are talking about worrying, we better get somebody who came when worried and talk about for herself. What you think? Yeah, can you translate it for the English speaker?
Yeah, in brief, she was giving a testimony that before she came here, she was so restless, worried, constantly worried. But when she came, she learned to meditate, to calm down her mind. Now she's no longer worried about things. She just sees and embraces whatever happens. And that's how life is at the moment.
Yeah. While we were about meditation, while we were in the subject of meditation, can you, it's too bad one lawyer is not here. There's a lawyer who's supposed to be here. Where is the lawyer, Nafna? She's not here. She's not here? She's not here. Okay, talk about worrying. I wish she's here to give her testimony. She said she will come, but she's not here. So she's also very interested in meditation. She will come here, I think. Recently we had a transaction where she had to help the center to cut out the transaction. But the other part of the other part of the transaction, we had the sellers, and the Uganda Boot Center were the buyers. So, but the sellers, they were not very peaceful. They are so worried. They are so worried that they don't have these papers, and then they were just talking everything out of worry. Now, the lawyer said, okay, we are going to conduct the transaction. I told him we are going to conduct the transaction, though the seller is going back to UK, but let us conduct the transaction. But I gave the condition for me to be part of the transaction as the leader of this place. She said I have to be here. I have to be part of the transaction. Then she told me that this is a meeting place and the sellers are coming, but the sellers they have these problems. They're angry. In other words, they are worried. They have a lot of fear. They have all this kind of thing. But we need you to be part of the transaction. So I gave the two conditions to the lawyer. I said, for me, when we go for the transaction, I'm just going to sign the transaction. That's my job, to sign that I've bought this land as a leader. And also, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to meditate. During your transaction, you are the one going to talk on behalf of Uganda Boot Center. For me, I'm just going to meditate and make sure that the person is paid. Now we entered all the group of lawyers from the seller's side and the buyer's side. And then I sat down. As I ended, the sale of the land greeted me as before he used to talk. Good morning, Mr. Bunting. I did like this with meditation gesture, and I gave a little whatever like this, and sat down and started meditating. They talk. Mr. Bunting, why are you not talking? So the lawyer told me this is the most peaceful transaction he ever conducted, because there was somebody who was meditating, and there were people who were deliberating and talking about this, worried about this, worried about this. I was just meditating there all the time. And when it came to the time for signing what I needed to sign, we signed, and then we finished. And now, recently when I met the lawyer, thanking her, thank you very much for helping us with the transaction and all these things. She said, Banta, I should thank you. There is something I learned. I've been a lawyer for 25 years, but there's something I learned. Mindfulness can bring peace in environment. You see? Mindfulness can I wish she's here. She's here. She would have said, she would have given the translation. She said that mindfulness can bring peace in the area. Because all that meeting, there was one person who was doing mindfulness meditation, others were just talking. So that reminds me when I was training in USA. Actually, before I became a monk, I was working in the front office in Massachusetts. So we had meetings. I worked almost 6 months. We had a meeting there, and I was working as a retreat manager. We had all like 50 people meeting together. So during that meeting, we would first meditate for 45 minutes. Usually the meeting was at 2. We meditated for 45 minutes, and after that the meeting came. So now, during the meeting, there will be one person who would meditate for 30 minutes. And then other people will talk about their problems, this and this and this. After 30 minutes, another person will, like a baton, we give a baton. And then the person will meditate for 30 minutes. So that means if the meeting was for 1 hour, that means during 1 hour there was only one person, 2 people who are meditating. I'm telling you, the meeting was very peaceful. So next time when you have a member in your caucus, you are meeting, just call me and I just meditate there. Amidst you and see how it's going to be, the place, the environment, how it look like. For me, what I learned from that is that every time you be exchanging words, and then you look at somebody who is peaceful inside there. So we have done it. We've seen it in the meeting, how they become very successful. So banange mbadde kinjuriza ekintu kino kyangambye ono abadde agamba nti no yawulira emirembe nga ajja kuwulira emirembe nga abantu abakola mu lukiiko parliament bakitegeera ndowooza yesenga emisomo gino egy'olusirika gibaayo nti wajja kubeerawo n'emirembe kuba abantu beeraliikirivu kino nawe mmanyi ebigenda mu ggwanga nzire mugamba kimanyi nti ekyoyogedde waliwo n'omuntu wano ayomweraliikirivu neŋŋamba atuweeko okugundi atubuulire lwaki akasente kagatunga ku lwayi ajje wano naye atubulidde nti no yafunirawo emirembe era kakati kyayogedde kakati nze neŋŋamba nti oba yafunirawo emirembe nange emirembe njirabye kubanga waliwo twali tugula ettaka wano naye ng'omuntu atuguza ettaka mweraliikirivu ayogera kino ayogera biri kati neŋŋamba nti kati nze nsomesa olusirika nange sijja mwegattako kwogera bisongo neeraliikirira kino neeraliikirira ekiri neŋŋamba nze looya kasita nkufunye gwogenda otwogererayo ebigambo bye twagala nze omulimu gwange oba mwagala mbeeremu nja kubeeramu naye nga ngenda kukola bintu bibiri ngenda kukola kutuula meditatinge nkole olusirika mpozi webituuka ebiseera by'okusayininga nsayininge era bwe kyali olwali okuyingira ng'omusajja atandika kunsokola mbigambo nga toyogera gwe kiki bannange leero ali awo abuguutana ng'agira omusajja okusirika kwange kwamugubuguutanya nagamba bannange nga toyogera kiki nagamba nedda era nze yatandika okunsokolamu ebigambo yatandika kumbuuza nakola bwengi ye no ku mazzi gange kubanga waliwo ennyonta yatuuka n'ennuma ne mugamba oyo Jack mpa amazzi gange onywa holy water amazzi amatukuvu nanti ng'anoonya bigambo omanya kujjamu ebigambo akusokolamu ebigambo ng'anywa amazzi bweni Jack ojjukira omusajja bwe yali akusokolamu ebigambo omusajja yabuguutana nga tamanyi kyakukola wonna wakakkamu yali amanyi naffe tugenda kuba si bakkakkamu naye yatusanga bagamba ekiyita waggulu otegera wansi empungu tekola ki nalaba nga ate bagamba ebibimba bikka naye amanyi oddumalayo leero bannange tulabe oli omusajja yali abimba otola yabimba nnyo n'agaana n'abaana bange okuzanyira ku kisaawe kyeri kuba ye yansaba abaana bazanyire ku kisaawe naye yabimba n'agamba abaana bo saagala bagendeyo bazanyireyo omupiira nga bannange bino ani mwafumaako ku binyeebwa nga bitokoka nga bibimba naye tulina olugero olugamba ebibimba bikka naye saagala ababadde basoma wano ku Sunday ebibimba bikka nanti mbagambe tino Buddhism within African what? Culture. A context. Era honorable, calling people okusomesa ba member of parliament. Ebintu byonna bigenda kuba within African context. Byonna teri ajja kuvayo ng'agamba ate musajja ayogera. Ayogedde ki? Musajja ayogera. They will know because I've been doing this. All the member of parliament, they will see that this Buddhism is contextualized in African context. Ebibimba bika namanyo kimalayo. Tolaba. Tolaba. This is a central teaching of Buddhism, that whatever has a nature to rise has a nature to fall away. Kati abibimba bika ensejjere tetuuka mu ggulu. Eki ensejjere tekola ki? Wolabe ekiswanga enswa zibuuka zigenda waggulu. Ogenda okulaba ebbanga liyitawo nno mmeka. Ng'ensejjere egudde n'ebiwato bivuddeko. Mpozi kyekola kukiriraza kabina. That's the best you can do. Tesobola kuddayo. Kakati naye kye nakola ona antuze ettaka ono abimbye ennyo mukolere ki? What I did is to go and sit and meditate the whole time. When we finish the transaction, I say like this: I wish you a safe journey to UK. That's what I did. Nacho na isigenda chogera nini ngamba kamvemo mwasi. I wish you a safe journey to the UK. That's what all these are testimonies. The problem the lawyer is not here. He would have given the testimony. I think she will come. No, he's not the one. We have a lawyer there, I remember. The other one was another lawyer who helped us with this transaction. Anyway, this is enough of testimony. Mr. Kai, so you are leaving at what? 1:30. Do you think you will have a time to pour this? 1:30, you eat at what time? I'm looking at the time. We can do something because it takes almost 30 minutes. We can do maybe this. Do what we call water pouring ceremony. We are going to pour the water, and then you'll do the pouring ceremony. And once you finish lunch, they'll take you to the airport. So now we are changing a little bit things around. So first offer your things, and then we are going to pour water. You can offer. Sabitio Vajantu Sabarogo Nakabu Matero Wanzandarayo Jai Baba Adivadana Sami Jai Baba Jai So that when we finish the ceremony, then after lunch, yeah, that's what I'm changing things around, because for us we need to meet. Yeah, I have changed around the schedule, so we are going to Dr. Kaiso is donated that tupa there. That tupa, the white moon, and the family, they donated. We work in Kenya, and a very big supporter. We work with UNICEF and United Nations. Now I'm very glad that you come here. Now what we are going to do, we are monks, we are going to pour, I'm going to demonstrate how to pour water, and then we say, Budam Damam Sangam Bandi, Budam Damam Sangam Bandi, Budam Damam Sangam Bandi, Budam Damam Sangam Bandi. So this one, it means I pay homage to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Buddha is the working mind, and Dhamma is the truth. So that's what the Buddha is. You know, the Buddha when he was born, I'll talk more of this in my talk in the afternoon that some of you are not going to hear, but I'd like to tell you what he did. Before he became a Buddha, it's called Buddha to be, or Bodhisattva. So when he was born, he was very special. His father was a king, and he is a prince, of course. And now when he was born, he has two options: to become the greatest leader in the whole world, or to be the Buddha who's awakened, who's going to show the way to people to overcome suffering and its causes. So now, according to the prediction, he said no. Though the father is the king and is a prince, he is not going to become a great king. He's going to have a great awakened person who has come in the world and then help people to understand suffering, the cause of suffering, happiness, and not happiness. So when he was born, according to the legend, he said that this is my last birth. I'm not going to be born again. This is my last birth. I'm going to attain awakening and became a Buddha. So he moved 7 steps. On the lotus flower, he moved 7 steps, which talks about the direction, which is north, west, east. In other words, on all directions, up and down and around. He said, I'm going to be the last, I'm going to attain enlightenment. This is my last batch. So now as during the celebration of Vesak Day, we celebrate the birth, enlightenment, and passing away. Here, before he became a Buddha. So now what we do, I'm going to demonstrate this. We put water as a symbolic. Water actually is a symbol for purification. To remind us, the Buddha purified his mind and through meditation and attained what we call enlightenment. So we pour water, each of us will pour water. As we're pouring water, the monks and lay people they chant, Buddham Dhammam Sangham Vande. In other words, I go home to the awakened one. I go home, I go to the refuge, or I pay homage to the truth. Yeah, the truth. I pay homage to the people, or those who are enlightened, who have been following the truth. So this is something in everybody's mind need to purify from fear, worry. That's called purification. We need to purify ourselves, and also we need to know the truth, and also we need to follow the people who follow the truth. So this is a symbolic thing, and everybody will invite them to participate. I'll first do it, and then my mother will do it, and the monks, they are going to line up. You camera people, please create some space for us, because because we want to do this so that there's no commotion. Yeah, so now I'm going to disengage these things. I don't know how we're going to cut this. But anyway, this one I can cut. This one I may not. This one I cut. Okay, now